Thank you so much, Joe, for joining me here today. The idea of this interview is to capture your voice and understand what your views on sustainability is. Now that you're going to start being SEG's president tomorrow or Friday? Very close, yeah. So, can you start by telling me a little bit of your background, your history, how you end up here today?
Well, background in history, actually started out as a hard rock geologist in my graduate school and worked for Department of Energy and Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So a lot of this almost feels like deja vu, because at that time we were interested in radioactive waste disposal and geothermal resources. And after a few years of that, I joined an oil and gas company, and that's been my career ever since. And that's a long story, but not directly, obviously, related to sustainability.
All your background and your history influences how you think about sustainability, which brings me to my second question, which is first question. Um, what, for you, what is sustainability?
Well, that's the hard question. I'm a big picture person. So there's absolutely no doubt that humanity has a huge footprint on the planet. I've been traveling around the planet for 40 years. I can see it. It's obvious. The the question for me is, how do you balance the whole system? The whole it, and that includes not just energy, land use, which you could say includes mining, for example, water use, agricultural footprint, the whole thing, and waste. Don't we always forget waste, right? So trading one off to make the other worse really makes no sense. So when I listen to all the dialogue and sustainability, that's what I try to put together. How does it all make sense for something that will take us not just in the next 10 years, 100 years, but further out? What does that really mean? So that's kind of where I am in the general sense.
Okay. So now, tell me about an opportunity you see to advance sustainability in the industry.
Well, there's really two things. One is education of the incoming generations, and that's the technical education through our Evolve CCUS and geothermal programs, but it's also, and I gave the SLS students this talk a few days ago. No matter where your personal opinions are in that space, what we'd like them to do to have the obligation not to sit on the outside and criticize, but come onto the inside and participate in finding solutions. That's a big message to them. The other side is in our interaction with the public. That's a very different conversation and a very different training, and it's not about educating the public. If you listen to Hayden Morton and his basic geocommunications, is about establishing empathy with the public and trying to figure out what they think they need to know, and just listen a lot. So I think those are the two things that related both to the younger folk and our mid-career folks. Our professionals actually know something, right? So, and we can do that as an
Sure. Thank you. Okay, so what about SEG? How do you think that, what role do you think that SEG can play in advancing sustainability?
Well, I've got four things I want to mention. In 2021, SEG mapped the 17 sustainability goals against what we do in geophysics. And the main author of that, of course, was Maria-Angela Capello, who you'll be interviewing. More credit for that. And that got rolled into the UN sustainability goals. So we participated in that, and that we should be really proud of that. That's number one. In addition, we built, as I already mentioned, into our Student Evolve program, and this is on the technical side, pathways on CCUS and geothermal, which we never had a training program in that. So again, that's teaching the incoming generations. And by the way, the mentor's learning a lot along the way. I know more about geothermal than I ever thought I was going to know, right? So we also have, of course, Geoscience Without Borders, which is helping local communities solve local problems. So that's been a part of SEG for a long, long time. And then finally, and I've sort of hinted at this already, through the AGI, we have licensed Hayden Mort's Geoscience Basic Communication. And I would really like to see every SEG, matter of fact, every APG professional take that course, because it's so important for every one of us to be an ambassador in this topic, regardless of what your personal opinions are. So those are 4 things that I just thought I'd mention.
Sounds wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for making yourself available despite all that's going on here.